Hey everyone, today I'm showing you a villager breeder that completely levels up your Minecraft game. It's not your average villager breeder, but this one is your classic early game villager breeder, great for starter farms, small trading halls and so on. If you're dreaming bigger, like massive trading halls, stacked iron farms or full-on custom villages, yeah, this one just won't cut it. Now this is what I'm talking about. This high efficiency breeder was designed by Vanished. He's linked in the description. And the rates? They're absolutely wild. AFK for just 1 minute and you'll get around 25 villagers. That's 1,500 villagers each and every hour. Insane, right? I need to pause right away for an important note. Nether portals will link if they're too close together. The portal we're building now is for the breeder, so make sure it's at least 1,024 blocks away from the portal where you plan to bring villagers out of the Nether and send them to your farms. If you don't plan ahead, the portals might link or the villagers could end up too far from your farm and the whole system won't work properly. Let's begin by building a Nether portal. First, make sure you're at least 100 blocks away from any village, bed or workstation. If you're too close, the breeder might not work properly. Start by placing a temporary block, then stack 3 obsidian blocks on top of it. Now place a row of 9 obsidian blocks on the ground in front of it. At the other end, place another temporary block and stack 3 obsidian blocks. Then, just connect the tops of both sides to complete the frame. And don't forget to remove the temp blocks afterward. Now go ahead and light the portal and step into the Nether. Take a moment to check your surroundings. Make sure the area is safe and that there's enough space to work with. My spot here is perfect. Later on, you'll need to move the portal a few blocks upward, but that won't be a problem in this location. Now start by placing 3 rows of upper slabs just like this. Make sure they're not lower slabs. As always, check the pinned comment for the latest updates or adjustments to the farm. Then repeat the exact same thing on the other side of the portal. Next, place a lower slab at the top row of the portal. Make sure it's a lower slab, not an upper one. Then place 2 glass panes like that and surround those glass panes with more lower slabs on all sides. On top of those 2 slabs, place a temporary block, then place 9 glass blocks like this. Don't place anything on top of this temporary block just yet. Now continue placing the blocks just like I'm doing here. Once you're done, repeat the exact same process on the other side of the portal. At this point, you should have 5 chambers on each side of the portal. Now, let's build a 3-block high wall using glass blocks, surrounding the slabs at the bottom. Just make sure to leave these 2 blocks open so you can get out of the area later. Once that's done, repeat the same process on the other side. And leave those 2 blocks open as well. You can also place a temporary block here to make it easier to access this area when needed. Back on top of the breeder, place a temporary block at this spot. Then, add a dropper facing downward on the side of that temp block. Make sure it's a dropper, not a dispenser. You can leave the chamber on this side. Next, break this temporary block and close off the chamber by placing a glass block where that temp block is. Repeat this process for the remaining 9 chambers. Now, go inside the enclosure and place a water bucket above each slab. But be careful not to pour the water directly on top of the slabs, or it'll flood the space below. Instead, place the water against the glass blocks at the back, just like I'm doing here. Once that's done, leave the enclosure and close it off with 2 glass blocks. Then repeat the same process on the other side. Once that's done, start placing 2 glass blocks just below the first slab on the upper part of the enclosure. Then continue the pattern like this. Place 2 more, then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and finally finish with another 2. Place 1 block on each side of the portal like this, but don't place anything directly on the obsidian. Repeat the exact same pattern on the other side. Then close off the top side of the enclosure by placing glass blocks there. Now it's time to get our first 2 villagers into the first chamber. To do that, I'm going to place some temporary blocks like this to close off the other chambers, making sure there's enough space and that the villagers can't escape. If you're using a boat to bring the villagers, place some scaffolding down here. Otherwise, you can use rails and minecarts. Once you have 2 villagers, bring them up by climbing the scaffolding and pull them up with a lead. Then place a temporary wall here and break the boat. Then slowly push the villagers inside the first chamber. Repeat this process until all the remaining chambers are filled. You can also use these 2 villagers to breed and fill the other chambers over time. Now place a bed on this spot and wait until one of the villagers links to it. You'll see green particles over the bed and over the linked villager. Then place the second bed. My game has a bug and we don't see particles, but it works regardless. Now replace this temporary block with any workstation and check which villager attaches to it. If it's the one in the back, like in my case, break the workstation and place it near the corresponding villager in the back. Then place another workstation for the other villager and wait until they attach to it. Repeat this for the remaining chambers. You can also use a lazy green-coated villager for breeding. Just don't place a workstation for them as they won't link to it. Instead, place a glass block there. I'm not using a green-coated villager here because of the aesthetics of the farm. Once your villagers are in place, go ahead and place 6 more beds at these spots. Now place a hopper pointing into each of the droppers. In the center, place solid blocks like this. Then extend that row by adding 5 more blocks in the same way. At this spot, place some scaffolding to make it easier to access the farm. Right there, place a lever with a comparator in front of it. Click the comparator once to set it to subtract mode. Finally, place redstone dust on all of these blocks. For the rails, start by placing solid blocks just like I'm doing here. By now, everything should look like this. On top of this block, place a detector rail, followed by a regular rail on top of it and one below it. Then break the rail on top and replace it with a solid block. Now place powered rails going all the way down until you reach the last hopper. To power these rails, place a glass block against this solid block and put a redstone torch on top of the glass block. Next, extend the rail line by adding 3 regular rails, followed by 3 powered rails, and then 3 more regular rails. To power these new powered rails, place a lever beneath the center block and flick it. Then continue the line with more powered rails and place a lever on top of this block and flick it as well. Unfortunately, the last rail still won't be powered, so to fix that, place a glass block next to the solid block and add a redstone torch to it. That'll solve the problem. Back here, place 3 solid blocks like this. On the front side, place a lever there and then place a piston facing this direction. Add a few more blocks like this. Place 2 redstone dust there and a redstone torch in the back. The piston should extend. Once that's done, place 5 more blocks like this. Then add 2 comparators and 3 redstone dust just like this. Place 2 more solid blocks there. Then place a comparator like that. And place 2 more solid blocks there with 1 more comparator like this. Place a hopper there pointing downward and insert 23 of any item you have into the hopper. On this side, place a double chest like this. Beneath it, place a minecart with a hopper on top of the detector rail. Fill the double chest with bread, carrots, potatoes, or any other vegetables to get the villagers to breed. Just make sure you have plenty of food in there. Once the minecart pulls enough items, it will begin filling the droppers automatically. Now it's time to build a portal to get your villagers out of the Nether. To avoid accidentally linking it to the breeder's portal, make sure to build this new portal at least 1024 blocks away from the breeder. It's a good idea to plan ahead. Decide where you want your villagers to be delivered first and then build the breeder more than 1024 blocks away from that location in any direction. Ignite the portal and jump into the Nether. Check the location and start making it safe. If needed, build some walls or barriers to make sure your villagers are protected at all times. We need to go back to the overworld and enclose the portal there as well, so the villagers can't escape. From this point, you'll be able to transport your villagers anywhere you want. Start by covering the back of the portal with any solid blocks like this. Then build a small, 2 blocks high enclosure around the front and place a torch inside to prevent zombies from spawning. Back in the Nether, once you've cleared the area, place an activator rail right here, not a powered rail. Then lay down some regular rails leading toward your first portal, followed by powered rails. Just a reminder, make sure the very first rail is an activator rail, not a powered one. To power the rails, place redstone torches wherever needed along the line. Next, break these 3 blocks and place a double chest in their place. Attach a hopper pointing into the chest and place a regular rail on top of the hopper. Now break the block behind the hopper and make some space if needed. Place a block of sand in that spot and put a cactus on top of it. Let me show you what happens when you deliver a villager here. The powered rails will push the minecart forward onto the activator rail, which unloads the villager directly into the portal and sends them to the overworld. Meanwhile, the minecart hits the cactus, breaks, and the broken cart is automatically collected by the hopper and stored in the double chest. Now, start extending your rail line until it reaches your first portal, which is about 128 blocks away. You can either alternate between regular rails and powered rails every few blocks, or use powered rails the whole way if you prefer. Now, it's time to move our portal up. Start by breaking the old obsidian frame and place 6 temporary blocks on top of the first row of obsidian we left earlier for reference. Then build a new portal on top of those temporary blocks. Once that's done, break the temporary blocks and remove the old obsidian frame below. On the back side of the portal, place 2 temporary blocks like this. Now go to the front side and place 2 dispensers on top of those temp blocks. Then place 4 more blocks on top of the dispensers. Once everything is in place, go ahead and remove the 2 temporary blocks. Place 2 glass blocks there, followed by 2 more dispensers below the glass facing forward like this. Next, place 2 temporary blocks there and place 2 hay bales in front of the temp blocks. Then remove the temp blocks. On top of the hay bales, place a wooden pressure plate. Now place 2 glass blocks below, add a temp block here, and place another hay bale like this. Add 1 more temp block, and a dispenser facing this direction. Then break the temp blocks, and place another pressure plate on top of the hay bale. Finally, place 2 more glass blocks here, and a hay bale in the ground, like this. Attach a hopper to each of the dispensers. On top of each hopper, you can either place a barrel or a double chest, whichever you prefer. By now, your setup should look like this. Down here, place some glass blocks like this. Then add a dispenser facing this direction. Place a solid block directly on top of the dispenser. Now close up the entire delivery section by placing glass blocks around it like this. Make sure everything is sealed up properly so that no villager can escape. Double check all openings and gaps. Even a single missing block can cause issues later on. Your villagers will drop down onto the hay bales and the dispensers will shoot snowballs to gently push them along. Ignite the portal to activate it. To prevent villagers from getting stuck inside the portal, let's build the redstone system that will shoot them down. Start by placing a solid block here and add redstone dust on top of it. Then place 4 more solid blocks like this. On the center block, place a redstone repeater and click it twice to set it to 3 ticks. Now at the back, place a redstone torch at this block and a redstone dust right here. This creates a simple redstone clock that you can activate and deactivate with a lever placed right here. Since minecarts can get stuck on glass, it's better to replace this glass block with a solid block. Place a button at the solid block, then place 1 or 2 powered rails there, followed by 2 regular rails and 2 more powered rails. Finally, connect this rail line to your previously placed rail system. Behind that powered rail, place a solid block and put a button on top of it. Now, fill this dispenser with minecarts. To expand its capacity, you can place a hopper on the side of it and add a double chest above the hopper. Next, fill the barrels with snowballs. And with that, this part of your breeder is complete. Here's what happens when a villager arrives on the dark side of Minecraft. He gets shot down by the snowball dispenser and lands safely, ready to be collected. With just the push of a button, the minecart will send him to the spot where you can decide what to do with him next. With a press of this button and a gentle push to the minecart, the villager will be sent straight toward your other portal. Green-coated villagers, also known as nitwits, are mostly useless, except for breeding. If you don't need them, you can eliminate them here and collect the minecart. And that's it for this side of the breeder. Back in the overworld, let me quickly show you where I placed the frog lights, just in case you want to light up the breeder like I did in the thumbnail. This is how it looks when everything is finished. Let me show you how to activate the breeder, followed by a quick 10-second time-lapse of 1 minute of breeding in action. If your droppers are empty, flick this lever to deliver food to them. You can let the minecart run continuously if you want. Next, flick this lever to deliver the food to the villagers, then flick it again once you're done. It might take a moment for them to start breeding because they first exchange food with each other. As you can see, the villagers breed like crazy, about 25 new villagers per minute, which is roughly 1,500 per hour. That's insane. That's it for this build. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.